Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are at the Yes Dear podcast I'm here with my husband, it's Patrick Lyons, and I am so excited to be here. I had to take a couple breaths because I was laughing, and we should have hit record earlier, but we didn't. So I wanted to make sure I at least got the intro done without cracking up. So I got that. So all bets are off now because I could laugh the rest of the time. So welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're here. This is our kickoff episode, and you're in for a good time. Right, hon?
Think?
I think. I mean, we're gonna have a good time, so it doesn't
Well,
matter
that's
what anybody else. Right. Hopefully they
that's
have a good time hearing us have a good time.
that's earlier today I told somebody we were actually going to be recording this, and I said I think it's mainly just for us, like mainly for us to have a good time. And she said, "Oh, does that mean the whole time just be laughing at the two of you will be laughing at your own jokes?" I said, "No, I'll be laughing at my own jokes, and Dana will be laughing at me. That's usually how it
It's just
goes."
the stupidity. Mhm.
Yeah.
I know you'll come back around at some point, back to me knowing that I'm here.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Yeah.
So some people get on here and have no idea who we are. So I think we probably should first, introduce ourselves. And so I thought it would be fun if we actually gave each other, uh, uh, tell the audience a little bit about me, and I'll tell the audience a little bit about you. How about that?
Oh, wait a minute. Well, wait a minute.
No, you
Did you,
can't have time to think of like clever
but did you
things. It's just,
prepare?
I didn't
Did you?
prepare anything. I just
All
thought, well,
right.
that'd be cool. Let's tell it. All right. Well, let me just say before we get started, some of this is going to be really helpful. What we want to do is be really helpful to people,
Mhm.
and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But the other part is going to be humorous. And so you're just going to get just us as we are. And so when I thought of that, I thought, well, we should tell the audience. I mean, I could tell people about me, but what would you tell people about me?
I would tell people about you that well, here, I don't want you to know this, that I married like 11 floors over my head. So, you are an amazing author. You're a great speaker. You're a phenomenal encourager. You are probably the reason that not probably, you are the reason that I'm not the same man I was 26 years ago when you married me. Um, I don't know, gosh. You are hilarious. The banter is I find very sexy. That yeah, that's part of your appeal. You're a phenomenal mom.
Oh, you're being really nice right now.
I know. Well, we'll get it out of the way in the first episode, and then we'll get
Okay.
real. I don't know. That's what else?
No, that's okay. They're going to be like,
Yeah. Well,
that's
yeah.
good. I just wanted a couple things, but it was fun while it lasted.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now your turn, and I was really nice, so I can't wait to see what you do.
Well, okay, wait, this is going to take some thinking then. No, just kidding. Um, so my husband, I fell in love with my husband because actually, and I've told you this, that you have brought laughter into my life. Not that I never laughed, but man, do we laugh. And I love that about you. You are funny most of the time and some of the
All
time,
the
but
time.
not all of the time, not all the
No,
time.
all the
Just
time.
yeah, no. And you're incredibly smart. You're the king of, and I say this all the time, you're the anointed one of just turn it off and on and things work for you when it breaks for
Mhm.
everybody else. You are the king of choosing the wrong teams to root for because they seem to not do very well after they suck you in.
That's
But I
fair.
love your passion. I love that you love family. I love that you love to cook because I don't. I love that I love your spontaneous romantic side. I love the way we don't have to say a word and we could just be. And
Mhm.
that's super comforting to me, knowing that I am known and I don't have to be somebody that I'm not. Yeah.
I'll take that.
So, yeah, I love that a
Awesome.
lot. Yeah. So that's a little bit about us. Now, So like, how did we get here? I think people probably want to know, well, why are we doing this podcast? And I'll just kick it off and just say that we are doing, oh, I don't like the way that looks. I'm sorry. That I have a light and all I see is the ring in my glasses. That's driving me crazy. So I invited Patrick to come on my podcast as a guest because I thought it'd be really cool. I talk a lot about marriage and relationships, which you and I do all the time, whether it's work or, coaching somebody personally. And so I asked Patrick if he would come on as a guest on my podcast. And long story short, we started talking and we just decided that we would just kick one off by ourselves because we absolutely love doing things together. We have fun. I say this all the time. We have this dance. We don't dance together, but we dance in life together really well. I feel like we can feel each other out and we could pick up the energy off one another. And I think we do that really well. And so the more we talked about it, the more excited we got. And so here we are. And then came the question, well, what do we call it? And if you know anything about, well, you're going to learn about my husband, everything has to be humorous. And so we both can bring the serious side, but I probably bring a little bit more of the serious. Patrick brings more of the humor, and in the mixed, we'll just flow with it. And so we came up with a word that we use quite often with each other, more joking than not. And we tend to say to each other, yes, dear, when we know that we need to agree. And that's how we got the name. Would you agree?
Yeah.
You didn't say yes, dear.
I'm being mysterious. I'm not a trained pony. I'm not.
You're predictable though.
I'm not. Yes, we kicked around, but we asked our kids for different names, most of which we can't share here. I thought a good suggestion came from our friend Fern, who suggested I'm with stupid, but he didn't clarify which one of us was the I'm and which one of us is the stupid. But I don't think he had to. I think, yeah, we both know he meant I'm the stupid. But no, yes, dear. I did. It's more of a playful thing. We'll say. Usually, I feel like that's a phrase you use with me a lot when I'm just off doing something goofy and you're waiting for me to come back and you're like, yes, dear. So, yeah, it seemed to fit. It'll work, I think, and we'll find out. Now, what qualifies us to do any kind of podcast on marriage and relationships, I think people ought to know that we have been perfect in our marriage from the start. We have done everything right. And well, mainly me. But yeah, we haven't made a single mistake. And so we just know how we know how to do it. And we thought we would just share that with everybody.
No, most of the people just totally clicked off and they're never gonna know the real truth. They just all went, can't follow those people.
Yeah. All right. Well, it sounded good. Well, maybe it didn't even sound
Sounded great, but
yeah. Well, no, actually, I'd say like if you put together a list of the top 10 things not to do in your marriage to each other, we're probably both down and back through that list, and we have done everything wrong and made every mistake in the book multiple times to make sure that we check those boxes. And it is only by the grace of God that we're still together today.
So much so we joke with each other a lot of times. I'll say a lot of times, and we'll say, "Why are we together?"
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
we're like, we have no idea.
Yeah,
but it's awesome.
So, but I think the idea is, I don't know, to share what we've learned. To both of us, I guess you could say this. Just a little bit about us. We're both coaches, and we're both encouragers.
Yeah.
We both have a heart to see people thrive, to see people change old thinking, right? Take off the lies and the labels they believe about themselves, the lies and the labels they might believe about their marriage or their spouses, their own what they bring to the table, just cast all that out and own who they are, um, and thrive as individuals, thrive in a relationship, thrive for their families. That's our heart. And
Yeah.
so I remember I'm sure this will come out in future episodes, but 20 years ago when our marriage was destroyed, our marriage burned to the ground, and we had both met with attorneys, and we were, again, long story short, when that was restored, we said that if we can help just one couple avoid the mistakes that we've made, then what we went through will have been worth it. And I think that's right. That's how we all try to make sense of crap we go through, is you do something with it, you try to help people. So that was our hope, our prayer 20 years ago. And I think we can humbly say it's been a lot more than one since then. This is our first time bringing it to the podcast form. So see where it goes.
Yeah, super excited. The more we talked about it, at least for me, the more excited I got. So much so when I was going to bed last night and you were brushing your teeth, taking forever. I
Hey,
was I was giggling. I was giggling because I'm like, we're gonna have so much fun. Well, I'm gonna have fun just giggling at you, but super excited because like you said, we work really well together. I think we have learned that. And we did marriage ministry for years, and then we stopped. And really, I found for myself personally that I really stopped because some of marriage ministry can be discouraging in the sense that, you watch people change, and then to hear so many just go back to their old habits and quit. And I found that incredibly discouraging. As an encourager, one of the biggest challenges I personally face is discouragement, and just discouraged. We're like, there's another one who just signed papers. There's another family who's just been destroyed. And although we can't save everybody, it just seemed like so many that we were helping over time would go back to some of their old habits and just kind of gave up. And, only when you've had enough. And so can't save everybody. But then we kind of moved into, you were doing more business coaching and I was doing more one-on-one with women, because I found that working one-on-one with people, whether with the men or me with the women, I found that I got better results simply because if you could change one person, then the entire family can change. Rather than we could put people through class after class after class, which is what we were doing. And it doesn't matter how many classes you take, that until you personally say, I'm ready to get well and change, nothing else changes.
Mhm.
I don't think it's the activity you do, it's the inside work that you do. And so we spend more time doing that nowadays than actually marriage class. We haven't done that specific class in a long, long time. So I'm super excited about this because I feel like way back when we repaired our marriage, I feel like we had this passion, like we have answers now, and you just start seeing it in everybody, right? I feel like we did that. It seemed like that all these couples were coming out of the woodwork, that we can see where we were, and we have some answers, and we were really excited. And we're now 20 years in, and I feel like I'm at a place, and I think you are too, where we really feel like we have a lot to give back and pour into others because we want to. And if nothing else on this podcast, someday our kids will listen to some of this and, learn some lessons and have some good laughs. But
Yeah.
so I'm super excited because I think we're both encouragers. We want to encourage people. And I think that it's going to be a lot about marriage, relationships in general, because a lot of what we learned in marriage also helped us in all our other relationships that were really rocky or hurting and dysfunctional
Yeah.
and all those things. It's going to be about life, probably a lot of parenting, funny moments that we'll share, but as well as just a lot of laughters. We're a sports family, so we can get on here and talk about sports. You guys would, a lot of what we're going to do is not going to be so formal. We're not going to be the formal, just educational kind of podcast. We're real people, just like people are going to be listening to us. And I hope everybody who listens feels like they're coming into our home,
Mhm.
feels like they're welcome. They're just sitting on the couch, grabbing a drink and chatting and maybe eating some jelly beans like you're doing right now.
They're good jelly beans.
Are they?
Yeah. Um, yes. So we've been I mean, almost from the day we got married, we've always been the host family,
Yeah.
right? We've always been the couple that opened our home and invited people in, it's you said, you used the phrase earlier, just be, right? We do that with each other. We can just be. We don't
Yeah.
have to. There's no pretense. There's no. You just be, right. Good, bad, all the baggage that we all bring. You can just. It's all welcome here, and that was always our approach whenever we opened our home. And um, when we were talking about doing this, yeah, I think one of the names we even came up with that obviously didn't make the cut was something like, the Lion's House or Lion's Home or something like that, because we just want this to be a place where people can just be, that you can listen and yeah, laugh a little, be encouraged for sure, learn some things. Yeah, and you, or I will agree with you, but even though we haven't done, actually, we do marriage coaching.
Yeah.
We are doing that now. And if anybody's in need of that, then certainly reach out and let us know. As I said, the fact that we have made every mistake in the book, so we are able to meet you wherever you are. That's
Yeah.
which I think is important.
For sure.
But while we weren't doing marriage classes or marriage ministry for probably, gosh, 10 years,
Mhm.
we were both using everything we've learned in the other work that we're doing. So as you said, right,
Sure.
we weren't doing marriage ministry. You have planted women's ministries in several states now, each of the places we've lived. And um, I think a lot of marriages that are hurting, couples that are hurting, or don't have that intimacy that we all crave, that we often hear it. uh, the 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 their vision goes to their spouse. Like, what is it that they're trying to fix their spouse. They wish their spouse could be different, or they wish their spouse would stop doing this or start doing that. And I know what you do in your women's classes and why they've been so successful. It's because it's not about changing anybody else. I mean, you said as much. It's you changing. It's right. It's changing the individual. Funny thing is, everything I learned in marriage classes 20 years ago, while I'm not doing the marriage class anymore, or I haven't done that in a long time, I use all those same concepts in my work, which is business coaching and I mean, coaching senior executives that make 50 times more than I make, for sure. And the concepts are not only useful in your marriage, but they're useful when you're trying to build a team. They're useful in just connecting with people. And it's the same thing. It's not trying to change anybody else. I call it the mirror work. It's
Yep.
doing the mirror work. And so I think a lot of what we will talk about in future episodes is the mirror work, because that's where, man, that's where the beauty of that is, you realize how in control you really are. I think that's where hopelessness comes, whether it's hopelessness in at work, or in your marriage, or in your family, anywhere. It comes from feeling like you're stuck. There's nothing you can do to fix it or change it. Can't get out. And there's like we're both here to remind you in the coming, like today, now, and in the coming episodes, you are so in control of uh, any situation you find yourself in. It's just a matter of how you want to. It's doing the mirror work.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah, and so we'll wrap up here in just a minute for this first one, but I'm thinking of marriages. If somebody's clicking on here, let's wrap up with just talking about who would this podcast be for, really, because that's what came to my mind. Is we're thinking some may think, oh, this is just for marriages who are in trouble, and I want to say, no, it's not. And this also may be just for marriages. Well, a lot of it will talk marriage because we're married, but a lot of this is about relationship. So you're going to learn relationship skills in ways, whether it be I'm not married, but I'm dating and hope to be, or I'm not married, I'm divorced, and I got issues with all kinds of relationships. I want to say stick around, because it's not just about marriages.
Yeah.
really. I mean, we're going to talk about married life, and we hope to impact a lot of marriages, but as a single person, hopefully, because one of the things when we were falling apart was when God said to me, go ahead and get divorced, but like you're still stuck with yourself. And if we weren't together, moving on, whether it be as a single mom or anybody else, I'm still stuck with me.
Yep.
So hopefully people will stick around and listen and gain some wisdom on just what we've learned and what we could share. And I want to speak to marriages in particular, because we have been in a place where we had nothing. We both went to go visit attorneys, right? So we've been on that stage, and here we are today. And for me, I'll just say for me personally, it's the best place I've ever been in my own life and with you. I just feel like it's sweet right now. And I want to speak to those couples that just think, we're never going to get there. I just want to say, yes, you can, because I thought that we could never.
Mhm.
And putting some of these things that we teach you or share, if you put them into practice in your own life, I want to just say that you could have the marriage that's better than it's ever been.
Mm.
Better than it's ever been. And it's not going back when you repair a marriage or you repair a relationship, not even just marriage. When you're trying to repair a relationship, you're not trying to go back to like the best place it's been in the past. You're trying to get back to better than, to take it better than it's ever been. And so I hope you stick around with us, and I hope that you will listen and be on the journey with us, because we really are here to help, bring some laughs, and then the last thing I'll just say is, if you're also listening, this is coming to my mind. If you're listening and you think, man, well, we're so opposite, we're just falling out of love. I just want you to say, I said the same thing, and stick around, because opposites do attract. And when you can use that and embrace your differences, it's a really sweet, beautiful place. So we've learned that along the way. And so we'll talk about that in a later time, but anything else you want to share in our kickoff episode?
No, the only thing I was thinking was, we promised all the laughs, then we got all serious, and but I guess it
Please
probably
don't tell us a joke.
no. I am the world's worst joke teller.
I could show them the picture of you getting all numbed up this morning. No,
Yeah,
I won't do that. I won't do that.
that's yeah. So let's see. Gosh, 8 hours ago, 7 hours ago, I was in a dentist chair getting shot up with Novocaine and drilling in my teeth, and it just reminded me of marriage. That's all. That's
Yeah. Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
Yeah. No, that's true story. And I did think of marriage. I thought of the podcast in the chair, and I
This is
love
the perfect illustration of what it's going to be like. And let's just kick it off today.
there you go.
Is that what you thought?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking.
Wow,
I was thinking
you're
getting out of
Debbie
the same
Downer.
chair.
I was
What's
so
that?
excited.
Hmm.
I said, you're Debbie Downer. You just
Yeah,
started
well.
drilling and thanks. Thanks.
Yes, I'm so excited too. Did that
So,
sound better?
yeah, no, I'm going to end now, because we're just going to get in trouble.
No,
So,
it is gonna be great. Gonna be good. Stick with us through along the journey, and please, I always like to say, man, like and share. And if you know anybody who needs that encouragement, or again, whether you're in a marriage that you're struggling and you want to do something about it, or even if it's good and you want it to be great, that's fine too. We have been everywhere on the marriage spectrum. And so all are welcome. All are welcome in our home.
that's right. Yeah, don't forget to follow, because if you don't follow, you're not going to get the latest and next episode. We had some people do that in my podcast. So just make sure you follow, share it out to people in need, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming. Take
Bye.
care.